Welcome to another episode on the parable of the sower. I remain your host and your friend, the sower, Daniel Otachiko Kafo. So today on this episode, I'm with another of my classmates, and his name is Christian Chukwuka. He is also my colleague, one of my colleagues in our rice project, and I want to interview him. I want him to share some of his insight and some challenges with us on his journey so far. So, Christian, good to have you on our show today. So, I want to ask you a very critical question. All right. I know you're my friend. You did your primary school education and secondary school education in Lagos, and you got admission to study agriculture, economics, and extension down here in the southeast of Nigeria, and now you are practicing agriculture, and where you are practicing is in a rural area. So I want to know, seeing that you lived all your life in an urbanized area, how have you been able to cope in this rural area, practicing farming? How have you been able to cope?
Well, I haven't practiced farming before when I was in Lagos, so I never really had any experience prior to this. So everything here came as something new to me, something I've not done before. So me, I'm a curious person, so I was eager to understand how they do it, even though some of them seem very backward and very local. But then I haven't done it before, just the theories we've been doing in school. So now I have the chance to do it practical here, and from the villagers, I can see that after speaking to a few of them, some of them are actually very knowledgeable on these facts, even though most of them don't really have the idea of advanced technology, advanced farming, which I believe that is what we are going to give to them. But then I really enjoyed my stay in this village, and farming here is a very nice thing, to be honest.
Okay. So, but how have you been able to cope with the environment? Because I know this environment, we've been here for a while and it's not so very favorable. So, how have you been able to cope? Because I know that that is the fear of many undergraduate agric students. So, how have you been able to cope?
Well, in my own case, I don't have any choice. I just have to cope. So things I adapt very easily. There are some things they do in this village which I find very awkward. But then you say if you go to Rome, you behave like the Romans. So I just have to adapt and start behaving like one of them.
Yeah, that's true. We have to start behaving like one of them. So,
Yeah.
okay, before I ask you the last question, just take this question. What advantage do you think you are bringing to the table a as an educated person? Because most of the people here are uneducated, right? So, what advantage are you bringing to the table? What is your advantage as someone who is educated?
All right. Well, like I said, their farming here is very backward. It's very local. So me, educated person now, I have the insight of, and I know about advanced technology. I know about ways in which they can improve their farming. I also know about ways in which they can market very well. You know, it's not marketing is also another important branch of agriculture.
Yeah.
You understand? So I know about marketing. I know about networking. Most of them don't know about these things. They just go to farm, they farm. I know how to use what you are farming, how to make the best of it, how all the byproducts, the rice husk, the shaft, how to actually use them and just not dump them. As I know, rice husk has its own other benefits that can be brought out of it. You understand? Most of them don't know. Most of them, if you look around, you see they always dump it.
Yeah, that's
So
true.
as an educated person, I already know that these things that they are dumping can actually be valuable, can actually bring in money to them. You understand? So there are plenty byproducts that they are actually not even using in this village, and my uncle always says this. He always research on all the byproducts that you're getting from the farm and see what you can actually get from those byproducts. It's because everything from agriculture is not waste. Everything can always be used somewhere. And I feel in this village, most of them don't know about that.
Okay. That's very true. That's very insightful. Very insightful. So, lastly, what do you have to say to agric undergraduate in Nigeria? What word of encouragement do you have for them as someone who is a student and will be graduating, God being merciful, by September, and you are also practicing? What do you have to say to them?
Well, first of all, agric is fun. It's stressful, yes, but it's actually fun. And growing up, I've always said this thing: agric is the next crude oil. In fact, agric is the only crude oil we have. Leave the other crude oil, Agric is like the bomb in Nigeria right now. It's the next big thing. You know, people used to neglect agriculture. They see it as I don't know how they used to put it, like something that is not up to their standard. But then Agric is everybody in Nigeria eats. Everybody, every profession you do, everybody will still come back and rely on agriculture. So agriculture is one of the backbone of the country, and we should try. If you find yourself in agricultural economics, give it your best. Trust me, there's something that will come out from it. Agric has money, like my colleague said. Agric has money. There's money in it, and I believe money motivates everybody. So yeah, it's stressful, but the money, everything is worth it. Trust me, everything is worth it in agriculture.
Okay. So thank you so much, Christian, for being on this episode. You've heard everything Christian said. So some of you that are coming from the urbanized area and you are afraid to practice in rural areas, this is what Christian has said. He was able to adapt. So if Christian could adapt, and myself also, if I could adapt, you can also adapt. So come on board. Like I would always say, the field is big enough to accommodate all of us. We are very, very few currently on the field, and we are asking you, agric undergraduates in any institution of Nigeria, come on board. Let's produce this food together, and I wish you all the best. Thank you.